Good morning. If you are watching this, it is a replay. Which is just fine. I am going to make a kind of like a semi-swirl. It's going to kind of be a diagonal directional cup. And I'm going to be mixing up. I've already mixed up my epoxy. I'm going to be mixing up my colors that I'm going to use. So I'm using acrylic paint. And I'm using 1 alcohol ink for one of my colors. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some resin in here. And then you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And I've mixed up 50 mLs of resin or epoxy. I use the Alumilite Amazing Clear Cast. So I think I'll go ahead and mix up my alcohol ink first. This is supposed to be a light blue. Hopefully it comes out light blue because I've got, it looks darker blue here, but on the label right here it's lighter blue. Yeah, it mixes up a light blue. That's pretty. That's what I wanted. A little bit lighter blue. Add a little bit. Get a little thicker. Okay. All right, and then I have a couple paints here. This one is by Folk Art. It's blue sapphire, and it is the metallic acrylic paint. So again, I'm going to put some resin. And it doesn't take much paint at all. So, I mean, very little. Not even, probably not even a dime size. You don't want to put too much because it'll, and I did this on my last cup. It was kind of hard to work with, but it'll make it stringy. It's like working with mozzarella cheese that's been piled onto a pizza. Get it mixed up real good. Hope everybody's doing good today. This is actually live on a Sunday, June the 2nd. Okay, this next one is a Prussian, P-R-U-S-S-I-A-N, or Prussian, I'm not sure how you would say it, blue, so it's a really dark blue. This is a cup from a client. Her mother is in a nursing home and she has Alzheimer's, and she says she drinks coffee all day. So, and her birthday's coming up. So she was wanting to have her a cup made with her name on it. This blue is so dark it's almost black. I know it'll look pretty with the other colors. But anyway, she wanted it for her birthday. And put her name on it. And so I was happy to oblige. This is a 20-ounce tumbler. And it's been primed with white flat paint, matte flat. I think that's mixed up good. So there's our 3 blues, and then I'm going to mix up some silver metallic and then a pearl white. So if I need to, I can lighten up. And this, the metallic, is going to have some, the silver is going to have some glitter in it as well. And then the pearl white's going to have glitter in it. She wants lots of glitter. And I'd rather mix it in my paints than in, or just put it on top. It just, I don't know, it seems to do better with the epoxy. I don't think it's going to take much glitter. You don't always have to have a lot of glitter to get shine. Start with that amount. See how that looks. And if I don't feel like the paint brings out enough glitter, then I can, you know, add some, you know, on top of the paint at some point. But like I said, I'd rather it be mixed in the epoxy or in the colors that I'm putting on it. Hope you guys can hear me. Okay, so there's that. And then the last one is the white pearl. Metallic pearl white is what it's called. Sorry guys, I know my iPad is shaking a little bit, but I had to, I hope y'all are going, I'll make sure that the picture is in frame. Let's see, let's go that way a little bit. Look like my iPad was trying to come off the mount up there. We don't want that because that can be disastrous. Okay, so here's the pearl white. I'm going to need to save enough epoxy to just put a base coat on my cup. That will not take much, but I just want something for everything to move around on easily. Oops, got made a mess. I was really trying to get through this session without having epoxy everywhere because when I put a top coat last night on a cup, oh my gosh, I had such a mess. I was trying to move it from this turner to another one, which was a mistake with it being just totally, it was wet. I mean, I had just done it, or it had been done an hour, and I was going to try to move it over to my big turner where I have 4, but these arms are not the same, but I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try to get my husband to figure out how the arms can be the same. So all I have to do is when I finish here and let it set for about an hour, I can unscrew it here, screw it on that over there, and not have to do a lot of fiddling. I was trying to actually change it from this arm to another one, which was crazy, because all I had to hold on to was the rim. This one, I'm doing the rim, the whole rim, so that will not work with this, definitely. Just a little bit more epoxy. glitter that I have had, I can't tell you how long, years and years. It's by Hero Arts, and it's an ultra fine Prisma glitter. And like I said, I've had it. It's back when I first started crafting years and years and years ago when my kids were young. And it's so pretty. It's a beautiful, beautiful glitter. Put just a little bit more of that in there. Just drop my lid. Let me see if I can find it. Because if I look for it now, I'll forget I dropped it. And there it is. It's behind my chair. Okay, so I've got all my colors mixed up, glitter put in. So the first thing I'm going to do, excuse my arm please, is grab my silicone brush. I just got these in the mail yesterday. I ordered them from Etsy. I think I'm going to take my gloves off, and if I need to put them back on, I will. But I'm not going to be touching the epoxy. Or don't plan on it anyway. But I've got my cup rotating toward me. And it's got some like little dried paint spots on it. But they're going to be covered by all of the, well, I just got epoxy on me because it was dripping down my cup. So after I get it on here, then I will go wash my hands before I get started putting the, and they say that these brushes, if you know anything about the epoxy method for glittering, they say that these silicone brushes are the best way to put your epoxy on because you can put such a thin layer. So we're going to see. That's why I got it. And I'm not really worried about covering the bottom because the paint will drop there. I just want everything that I put down to mix. Last time I did this method, I didn't have epoxy down as a base, and some of my paints wouldn't cover. Like, it was hard to get them to cover where I didn't have epoxy. I don't know if that makes sense. Where I didn't, like, if I didn't hit an area with a color, then when I tried to cover it, I couldn't get it to cover the spot that was white. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, I thought next time I'll just put down a thin layer of the epoxy, and hopefully I've got enough here to do it. They say that you can epoxy, put your base layer down for glitter with about 2.5 mLs of your mixed resin or epoxy. I actually seen a girl say that she can mix up 5 mLs and glitter 5 cups. I'm not sure if I could do that, but more power to her if she can do that. That's great. Takes a little bit to get this on here because you got to really spread it out thin, and where you don't have any, the brush kind of stops and won't let you rub across it anymore. So and you might have a different way of doing this. I'm still fairly new, so I'm still learning the tricks of the trade and how to get everything going just right. If you're watching this and you do tumblers, let me know who you buy your glitter from. I have found a company that I love the glitters, but they never have it in stock. It seems to always be out of stock. I mean, and their prices are really good, so I think that's why everybody uses them. And then on top of that, I mean, their glitter is just gorgeous. But it's so aggravating to not be able to ever get it when they do restock, because it gets out so fast, and I've got notifications turned on. But anyway, I guess I'm going to have to start checking on that night, so I wonder if they restock at night or what they do, but everything seems to get gone. But maybe I'll get lucky, or I don't have the money at the time, you know, not right readily available where I can place an order. Maybe where I need to make a deposit because I use my PayPal account. And anyway, just share with me whose glitter you use. I do use, actually, I've got glitter from, of course, Michael's, and a little bit from Hobby Lobby, but most of it's from Michael's. I bought some glitter back last year, and when they were closing out some of the collections, I've got that glitter, but it's all, you know, recollections. I'm going to try to do a round right here on the top of the cup, around the lid part. Usually I take this part off, but I'm going to go ahead and try to do the full cup this time. This did start out as a totally stainless steel cup. It's an Ozark, and you pick those up at Walmart. They are a double wall stainless steel cup. They are good. I've heard nothing but good things about the Ozark. But sometimes you can get them painted as well, like in different colors. And if I get one that's painted, I've been taping off the lip of the cup, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I'm going to try to do, unless somebody requests it. Okay, now then, let me go wash my hands while that spins for a little bit. Hey Sharon, how are you? You can't hear me. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you were able to tell me that. I'm going to try to turn up my volume here and see if that helps. Does that help any? I probably need to order me a microphone. That way I wouldn't have to worry about it. I could just put it, like, you know, on my lapel or whatever. Can you hear me any better, Sharon? I'm going to step away right quick and go wash my hands. It won't take me long at all. Okay, we're going to get started here. Alright, so I think I'm going to start with this darkest blue here. I think I might have got too much paint in this one because it's starting to gum up. It'll still work, but it just kind of, like I said, if you put too much, it gums up and it's a little bit hard to manage at times. And you might be thinking, oh, I just don't know if that's going to be pretty. Just give it time. It takes a little bit for it to start showing its personality and what it's going to actually look like. I'll use a heat gun to move the colors together if I have to. Right now we're going to leave it like it is for a little bit. And we'll do the light blue. It's called seal blue. And it's the one I mixed up with the alcohol ink. A real pretty blue. Has the glitter in it. Again, it's a little stringy, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, I'm going to start back over with my colors. So I'm going to start with the dark Prussian or Prussian blue right here in this spot because this looks kind of bare. I do have my cup taped off on the inside, if you can see this that's sticking out, just to protect it from the epoxy. I really like that electric blue. I think it's pretty. you kind of just keep working with your different colors till you get it to where you like it. I don't have near all of the cup covered, but it will get there eventually. Especially when I'm going to put the heat gun on it in a little bit, and that will make a huge difference. I'll start moving those colors around. I don't want them to swirl into each other too much. So, y'all see how that paint is like stretching like silly string or something? Or like mozzarella cheese. We've got a big old glob of that. It's okay. It will work its way in. I'm going to put some more glitter. Glittery top. This one's kind of stringy as well. And back to the white. You've seen I did hit the bottom of the cup there, but at this early state of the game it's okay because the epoxy will settle in and cover up the spot. Ahead and turn on my heat gun. Let's see if I can get this stuff moving a little bit to thin out. I don't really want it to swirl together per se too much. I still want this diagonal display. We'll just have to see what happens here. Some of that glitter there to me. Look at that. She wants lots of glitter, and my plan is to put glitter, a little bit of glitter in my next thing of epoxy, my next layer. Then we should get the right mix of glitter that she desires. I think that's about all of that dark glue I'm going to use. That's about all I've got left. Put some paint here on the bottom. Not really worried about the design there in this particular cut. Trying to push some of this epoxy up toward the lid. I've got a little bit of that left, so I can still use that. Maybe put some of this lighter blue some places. I'm using a silicone mat under my work. So this epoxy, once it dries, it'll snap right off. Okay, I'm getting to the bottom of this layer here, or this color. Trying to make sure I get this rim around the bottom covered. Okay. Just kind of swirling that there on the bottom. Then any excess will fall off. Okay, might have just a little bit left of that one and another one. So we'll go ahead and put some heat to it. See what happens here. Okay. Pop some bubbles that I'm seeing. I'm still trying to keep the diagonal. It's somewhat diagonal. I know that. See a place there that needs to be covered. The bottom looks great. The whole cup is covered in epoxy. It's just some of it doesn't have any color other than the white on it. So that's what I'm trying to do right here, is make sure there's some type of color everywhere. A couple places right here. That's why it's best to cover your cup, prime it with some paint. That way you're not having to worry about your cup showing like the original color, like silver through, you know, you don't want that. But if it's a solid color that matches with the, you know, the design or paints or whatever medium you're using that is on the cup, then it should be fine. Put a little bit more of this along the bottom here. I really like that blue. That's the electric. I don't know if it was called electric blue, but it's really pretty. And I think I've got a little bit more of that, so I may add some more of that to it. I'm seeing some bubbles. Really nice coverage here at the top and the bottom rim, which you really have to make sure you do because it kind of gets left out sometimes. Let her choose from 3 different color palettes, and I had such a hard time matching any one. So there's colors from all the palettes that I showed her, I think, on this cup. Something I've learned and I would have never thought of was when you're doing a cup, be sure that you mix up enough epoxy. It's better to have too much than not enough because you cannot put 2 different mixes on the same layer, if that makes sense. If you, like I mixed up epoxy for this one, so I can't mix more so I can add it to this layer here because it can cause it not to cure because it's not the exact same. You know, even though you're striving for 25 of each, sometimes, you know, you might be off a little bit, and if you're off a little bit on both of your mixes, then it could cause your whole cup just to end up being tacky and never cure. And when you work so hard on something, you sure don't want that to happen. So be sure you always mix up enough epoxy for the whole layer that you're working on. So, you know, I know it's expensive, but I guess if you look at how much that is to how much you're losing when you can't sell a cup, you know, you end up having to strip it and all that time and everything. So, I think I might have a little bit more white I can put on, and other than that, and I don't really know that I need the white, I might put a little bit in some of these places, but I wanted to add that blue to add a little bit more blue to it, so I don't want to go back and cover it all up. I've done about all I can. I've used up all my epoxy. So all I can do now for this layer is just, I'm going to go wash my hands right quick. and I'll be back. I'm going to see how it looks when I come back. I see some air bubbles that I need to pop. I also still see a blank place there, so let me see what I can do. Be right back. Really liking the way this is looking. I can add a little bit of glitter in different places. Let's see. I think I'll add some of this. I mean, I am just lightly shaking it or tapping it. Not putting a lot. And what glitter doesn't sink into the epoxy will fall off, so you don't have, you know, that buildup or whatever. But she definitely wanted a lot of glitter for her mom. She likes bright and shiny. And I think this cup is definitely bright and shiny. That blue does it for it. Plus the glitter, of course. Still see a couple places that I want to see. Probably about reached my time limit on how long I can mess with this. So I will take a picture and send it to the customer and make sure this is what she had in mind before I actually personalize it and go any further with it, because I could, I could use this for another order and for somebody that wants blues and add some more colors in the next layer of epoxy. Then personalize it and then put another layer. So I'm just going to kind of see what she thinks. I like to make sure my customers are satisfied, because to buy a cup that is a cup to drink out of that's $25 is a lot of money, and that's what I would charge for this one. If I do like a glitter cup that has to have like a rainbow glitter that takes a lot of time, I charge $30 for those. That's my price for a 20 ounce, and then I add $5 for a 30 ounce to those prices. So I know most people don't tell what they charge. I'm just starting out, and that's kind of what I've been doing. So if you have any suggestions, you can comment below. But for my area, that's kind of, what I've been seeing as far as price. I don't want to overprice myself and, not have any business. So definitely. All right, guys, this is going to spin for about 8 hours. And then I will send a picture to my customer, see what she thinks about it, and go from there. All right, I hope everybody has a good rest of the day, and I will talk to you later. Thanks, bye.